morning, Bulldogs. It is Friday. We've made it to another Friday. It's May 1st, 2020. Can you believe that it's May? And this is crazy. All right, it's Friday. So it's the weekend, which I don't know what that means exactly anymore. It's not much different except you don't have to respond that you're present to a class. I guess that's the big difference. This weekend, however, in New Jersey, county and state parks are reopening. So if it ever stops raining, maybe that will make it something. You still have to practice social distancing there. You can't just walk and hang out with your friends, but hopefully maybe if you have one nearby, you can at least get outside a little bit. Okay, so today's top stories. The first story is actually from last night's news. I've been contemplating sharing the news from the night before as opposed to the morning. I'm actually going to change these videos. Next week is my plan, because you guys don't want to watch long videos. At first, you guys were asking for more news, but then the reality is that a lot of people aren't watching it. I tried to change this format. I'm going to change it again to try to be shorter. Maybe, so we'll see. But anyway, I wanted to share this story because I thought it was important. While we see that some states are relaxing their restrictions, we're still in a pretty serious predicament here in New Jersey. New Jersey reported 460 new virus cases yesterday, and that's more than any other state in the nation is reporting. And our numbers are not really we need to go down for 14 days before things can change in New Jersey. So we need them to change this weekend if we want the restrictions to end by mid-May, which is what they're to now. So we'll see what happens. You do see there's a movement of people throughout the country who want things to open up, and some states are opening. Some states are opening almost everything back up, just limiting how many people go in them per se. Armed protesters actually stormed the Capitol in Michigan yesterday. You can go online, you can see videos of it. I was thinking about what we were learning of in the French Revolution and the people storming Versailles and with their pitchforks and things like that. And no one was hurt as far as I know. There's a lot of, commentary on these protesters. Go online, learn about it. If you have questions or comments, feel free to share. Also, the CDC has labs across the United States studying the coronavirus genome. So biomed, this might be of special interest to you guys. So that's what this image is of here. So they're studying things like how it transmits, how does the virus change, things like that. They say we might have some form of this pandemic for 2 years now. So it's really important that we understand more about it to try to make that this is safe and is, we just want things to get somewhat back to normal, right? Okay, so now what about the BBC? They also had a top story about the Michigan protesters, but today is May Day. That's why I'm wearing red. This is a vintage 70s shirt, so I feel like I look like something my grandma would have worn. My mother knit this for me. I am not wearing red because I'm a communist. I'm wearing it because I'm a history teacher, and I'm trying to make you remember that May 1st is May Day. Not that it's wrong if you are a communist, good for you. Do you know when teachers during the Cold War, you had to take an oath, and teachers used to have to swear that they were not communists and that they would help fight against communism in the classroom. So you can be a teacher and a communist these days, but I'm not. I just want you to know about May Day. So May Day is a few things. So if you see this image above here, that little cartoonish thing, May Day does have pagan roots and some rituals. If you see the people run around the maypole, right? That's a May Day tradition. But May Day now is actually also International Workers' Day. Pretty cool that we're learning about it during the Industrial Revolution unit, because that's where it stems from, right? We've learned about all these changes that workers were facing, especially in factories, and the long hours and the unsafe conditions, and they weren't getting any safety precautions, and if they did get hurt, they weren't getting health care, all those sorts of things. So this day sort of has its roots in those issues. Because of May Day, you do see there will be strikes today, right? Workers today are still upset about some of the conditions that exist, especially during this pandemic. A friend's sister of mine works in one of those warehouses in Amazon, and they're reporting to her that they're still very close to each other without PPE, and people there are coughing and they're worried, right? Those are not good. So you do have a lot of people trying to boycott today, things like Amazon, Target. You can go online and learn more about it. If you learn more about it or you have questions about it, feel free. I'd love to try to look up stuff with you guys today. I have a friend that's getting married today, a weird wedding because of this situation. It's out in Ohio, with like in a park when there are only a few people and they're socially distanced. And I was like, oh, wow, you chose International Workers' Day to get married. And he's like, what are you talking about? But if you guys, you would know what I'm talking about because we like to be intelligent. Okay, so this image right here, the one all the way to the left, that's just a May Day poster from 2018 from Kansas City. I found that. So, okay, that gives you the idea that, right, the workers of the world unite. Then the next one is of people today celebrating. Is that the right word? Commemorating, doing stuff for International Workers' Day in Athens in Greece. So they're still like sort of protesting, but they're doing it while being 6 feet apart from everyone, right? Adapt and overcome. Even protests adapt and overcome. The protests in Michigan, they were not 6 feet apart. If you watch that, okay. So and I didn't share this story. European Parliament. Oh, okay. Gosh, I've still only been on one story. See, this is why I'm changing these videos, because I talk too much and you don't watch them. You just fast forward them anyway. Okay, so Trump claimed yesterday that he thinks China was behind the virus in a lab. Our CDC, one of those top groups, said we don't have evidence of that. We do have evidence that it was not man-made or modified, but who knows what the true story is just yet. But also European shelters. This is from a story in Brussels, in Belgium, right? What happens when people are on lockdown and people are losing jobs, and if there's a domestic violence situation? Domestic violence tends to increase when families are under economic strife, or imagine just being around each other so much. So some countries are trying to do something to help these women. So in this case, they're just housing 100 women that would have no other place to go because of this pandemic, and they don't want to be stuck in this abusive situation. New Jersey does have a hotline for people in domestic abusive situations. If you go to their website, it says they're continuing to operate during this pandemic. So there's a hotline number, there's a website, and you can even text to this. So if you know anyone who's in a situation that needs help, don't think that they can't get help just because of this pandemic. Feel free to share this information with them. Okay, so today's plan. Today we'll be learning about the jungle. So it's one more book before we finish up the Industrial Revolution. This is something you may come across again for US2 or whatever you take down the road, but it's something important to go during the Industrial Revolution as well. So instead of explaining it here, I do have a background video that I made like 5 years ago from my old YouTube channel. I shared that with you on the document. If you're like, I'm done with your videos, Ms. B, I'm not watching it, I won't know. There's no questions on it, but it does give a good background as to why he wrote it, what was going on at the time, things like that. If you want to get a 4 on today's assignment, then you do want to incorporate some information from the video. But if you're fine with like a 90, then hey, this is your choice. So today I have some excerpts I share of a video where I recite passages from the jungle, parts of chapter 14 and parts of chapter, I forget an earlier one, I can check. So once again, I don't want you guys to be reading and looking at a screen too much, so you can press play and turn the video around so you don't have to look at me and just listen. If you want to watch it, my daughter made some images, not puppets this time, but some good stick figure images that she will hold up and share for you. So maybe it's like entertainment or something. All right. Then there's two options for you. You can do a comic strip. For those of you who are creative, you can do it online. You can color and take a photo. However you want to do it. I know templates online for making comics. If you want to find some, but you don't know where to look, email me. I'll give you some ideas. If you're not so much into the visual side, you'd rather just write, you can write a journal entry instead. So I give you all the directions and the rubric on the assignment. Next class, there will be our assessment for the unit. We need a test grade, if you will, in there. It is not a traditional test. We really do traditional tests. It's not going to be one where you create questions and answers. It will count as a test, however, but it will be an assignment that you do need to reflect on the various things that we've been learning. You don't need to study for it because you'll have access to everything we've been doing. I just want to prepare you for it. Just know that that's what's coming next class. This weekend, I'm trying to start getting your April project videos up. So thank you for those that did them. I can't guarantee they'll all be up, but I'm hoping many of them will be. So I want to give a warning on today's activity. So today activity, The Jungle, is about the meatpacking industry a little over 100 years ago. If we were in school regularly, if you ask my sophomores, we do a lot with this activity. We looked at the meat industry today. We learned how chicken nuggets were made. Some people swear they were going to be a vegetarian after this. But we're sort of streamlining things right now. But even still, in the passages today, some of it is a little gross. I mean, it's not super gross, but it's a little gross. So I would not watch or listen or do this while eating lunch or dinner or right after you ate or while looking at ham or sausages. So, try to find a point of your day where it's enough after the last time you ate and enough time before the next time you eat where you don't think it will make you vomit. That's my suggestion. All right. So I'll touch base with you guys again on Tuesday, right? Yes. No, Wednesday. What is today? Friday, Monday, Wednesday, which is going to be a wellness Wednesday, I think. So actually your assessment won't be for a little while. But I miss you all. If you need any help with anything, let me know. Thank you for everyone who got their NPR podcasts in. I did submit them yesterday. And I hope you guys have as great weekend as possible. Okay, stay safe, stay well. See you guys.